Ever wondered how the golden land of Myanmar came to be? Our journey begins with the ancient Pyu city-states. Flourishing between the 1st and 9th centuries, these city-states were the earliest known civilization in the region. They were renowned for their sophisticated water management and brick construction techniques. These city-states were also known for their peaceful nature, as there is little evidence of warfare. The Pyu left an indelible mark on Myanmar's cultural and civilizational fabric with their Buddhist art and architecture, and the Pyu script, the earliest form of Burmese writing. Then, as the Pyu city-states declined, the Bagan Empire rose to prominence in the 9th century. The Bagan Empire is remembered as a golden age of Burmese culture, language, and civilization. Its rulers, most notably Anarata and Khyentse, built thousands of Buddhist temples and pagodas across the plains of Bagan, creating one of the world's most remarkable archaeological sites. Through their patronage of Theravada Buddhism, they shaped the religious and cultural identity of Myanmar. The fall of Bagan in the late 13th century gave rise to the Ava Kingdom, which ruled from the 14th to 16th centuries. The Ava Kingdom saw a resurgence of Burmese literature, arts, and culture. Despite periods of warfare and internal strife, the Ava era is celebrated for its literary classics and the refinement of Burmese performing arts. Each of these ancient kingdoms, the Pyu city-states, the Bagan Empire, and the Ava Kingdom, contributed significantly to the shaping of Myanmar's culture and civilization. They left behind a rich legacy of art, architecture, literature, and cultural practices that continue to influence the country to this day. From the ruins of these ancient kingdoms, a new era was about to dawn. As the sun set on the ancient kingdoms, a new chapter in Myanmar's history began. The 16th century ushered in the reign of the Tungu dynasty, a period of unification and consolidation that would forever alter the course of the nation. The Tungu kings, with their strong military prowess and strategic alliances, managed to bring together various regions under a single banner, creating what was, at its zenith, the largest empire in the history of Southeast Asia. This was a time of cultural synthesis, as the diverse customs and traditions of the unified regions began to blend, giving birth to a rich tapestry of cultural heritage that is quintessentially Myanmar. Yet the Tungu dynasty was not without its challenges. As the empire expanded, so did its internal conflicts and external pressures, leading to its eventual decline in the late 17th century. But as one dynasty fell, another rose to take its place. The 18th century saw the advent of the Konbaung dynasty, the last royal house of Burma before the onset of British colonial rule. The Konbaung kings, known for their aggressive expansion policies, sought to extend their influence over regions far beyond their borders. This led to a series of wars with neighboring powers, including the mighty Qing dynasty of China and the Siamese kingdom of Ayutthaya. These conflicts, while detrimental to the stability of the kingdom, also brought about significant changes in the country's political and social structure. The Konbaung dynasty, in its bid to strengthen its rule, implemented a series of reforms to modernize the kingdom. These included the centralization of administration, the standardization of legal codes, and the promotion of Theravada Buddhism as the state religion. Yet the winds of change were not always kind. The constant warfare and the increasing encroachment of European powers put a strain on the kingdom. By the end of the 19th century, the Konbaung dynasty had fallen, and the country was on the cusp of a new era. The winds of change were blowing, and Myanmar was on the brink of transformation. Did you know Myanmar was once part of the British Empire? A surprising fact indeed, but it's a significant chapter in the history of this Southeast Asian nation. The British rule in Myanmar, or Burma as it was known then, was a result of 3 separate Anglo-Burmese wars that took place over a span of 60 years in the 19th century. The First Anglo-Burmese War in 1824 was sparked by border disputes in northeastern India. After 2 years of conflict, the British emerged victorious, annexing territories that included the Arakan and Tenasserim coast. Fast forward to 1852 and tensions flared again. The Second Anglo-Burmese War was ignited by disputes over the Treaty of Yandabo, which had ended the First War. This time, the British seized the lower part of the country, including the city of Yangon. The final and decisive Third Anglo-Burmese War in 1885 was brief, lasting just a couple of weeks. The British, desiring complete control, annexed the remainder of the country, marking the beginning of full British rule in Burma. Under the British, Myanmar went through remarkable changes. The British introduced a modern education system, replacing the traditional monastic education. English became the medium of instruction, and many Burmese were educated in Western sciences and literature. Infrastructure too saw a significant upgrade. The British built railways, ports and roads, transforming Myanmar into a significant hub of trade within the British Empire. They also initiated large-scale cultivation of rice and extraction of oil and teak. However, British rule was not without its challenges and criticisms. The commercialization of agriculture led to the displacement of many farmers. Social and economic disparities grew, setting the stage for discontent and the rise of nationalism. The British reign, while transformative, was not to last forever. By the early 20th century, the winds of change were blowing across Myanmar. Burmese intellectuals and leaders, educated under the British system, began to question colonial rule and dream of an independent nation. The struggle for freedom was about to ignite. So stay tuned as we delve deeper into the fight for independence and the turbulent years of military rule that would follow in the next chapter of Myanmar's fascinating history. In the face of adversity, the spirit of Myanmar remained unbroken. This resilience was most evident in their fight for independence, a struggle led by the charismatic and determined Aung San. His vision of a unified and free Myanmar inspired a nation, sparking a movement that would ultimately lead to the end of British colonial rule in 1948. But the path to freedom was fraught with challenges. As a newly independent nation, Myanmar grappled with the complexities of self-governance, ethnic tensions, and economic instability. Each hurdle tested the resolve of its people, but they remained steadfast, their eyes firmly set on a brighter future. However, their aspirations were abruptly disrupted in 1962, when the military seized control in a coup d'état. This marked the start of an era characterized by isolation, authoritarian rule, and economic mismanagement. The military regime, known as the Burma Socialist Program Party, nationalized industries and implemented policies that stifled economic growth and limited personal freedoms. Under this regime, Myanmar became one of the world's most repressive and impoverished countries. Despite the harsh conditions, the spirit of the people never waned. They continued to voice their desire for democracy and human rights, often at great personal risk. The student-led uprising in 1988, also known as the 8888 Uprising, was a testament to their enduring courage and determination. The military responded with brutal force, but the seeds of change had been sown. The following year, the military government agreed to hold elections, a move seen by many as a potential step towards democracy. However, when the National League for Democracy, led by Aung San Suu Kyi, won by a landslide, the military refused to acknowledge the results, leading to further unrest and international condemnation. Throughout these tumultuous years, the resilient spirit of Myanmar's people shone through. Their struggle for freedom and democracy was a testament to their unwavering resolve, an inspiration to nations around the world. The quest for democracy was far from over. From the ashes of the past, a new Myanmar was emerging. The late 20th century marked a significant turning point in the country's history. The people of Myanmar, weary from decades of military rule, began to rise in protest. This culminated in the 8888 Uprising, a series of nationwide demonstrations and civil unrest that demanded democracy and an end to the oppressive regime. In the midst of this turmoil, a beacon of hope emerged. Aung San Suu Kyi, the daughter of Myanmar's independence hero, Aung San, came to the forefront of the pro-democracy movement. Her unwavering commitment to peaceful resistance and her eloquent speeches captured the hearts of millions, both within Myanmar and around the world. However, the path to democracy was far from smooth. Aung San Suu Kyi was placed under house arrest for a total of 15 years, becoming one of the world's most prominent political prisoners. Despite this, she continued to advocate for democracy and human rights, earning her the Nobel Peace Prize in 1991. In the years that followed, Myanmar gradually began to open up to the world. A quasi-civilian government was established, and in 2015, the country held its first openly contested election in more than half a century. Aung San Suu Kyi's party, the National League for Democracy, won in a landslide victory, marking a significant step towards democracy. Yet the road to a fully democratic Myanmar remains fraught with obstacles. Recent years have seen a power struggle between the military and the civilian government, echoing the country's turbulent past. But in the face of adversity, the people of Myanmar stand resilient. They carry with them the spirit of their ancestors, the lessons of their history, and the hope for a future where their voices are heard and their rights respected. Through it all, they continue to weave the rich tapestry of Myanmar's history, shaping the country into what it is today. The history of Myanmar is a testament to the resilience and strength of its people,